Welcome to today's episode of Success in Women, Women Helping Women.
Hi ladies, hope you had a great week.
Today we're going to talk about doing things even when you don't feel like it. There was an episode a few weeks ago that we were filming and we both really didn't feel like doing it, but we didn't want to let you ladies down. And so we did it anyway.
Exactly.
So we thought today might be a good day to talk about doing things even when you don't feel like it.
Right, and I think the best way of doing that is having a partner in anything, whether you're going to diet or you decided to do an exercise program, have a partner. Because definitely on those two issues, we seem to have those days where it's like, oh, I just don't want to do it. But your partner will say, come on, let's go, let's do it.
Let's get it over with.
And then another day, they might not want to do it. And then so you're the one pushing. Best idea.
And you know, it's interesting that you're talking about the partner, Andrea, because one of the things that I learned when I was taking this Jack Canfield's course that I had mentioned in a previous episode, we did what's called accountability partners, and we would pair up with somebody and we would be accountable to them.
Right.
So sometimes you want a partner if you're doing a workout, a walk, filming. Andrew and I do this together. We could easily film on our own, but we want to make sure that you get both of our experiences. So for the most part, we're always going to make sure that we can both be on. But the thing is, if we're accountable because we said we're going to do something, and say, for example, it was if you're trying to lose weight and you're making sure that you're doing the right things, you've got all the action steps of what you need to do, that you check in with your accountability partner and let them know if you did what you said.
See, that's like myself and my girlfriend who lives in the States. We both decided to do Weight Watchers. And so we would help each other during the week. I would give her recipes. She'd give me some of her ideas. And every Monday morning was weight check-in. So she would email or message me and tell me how she did, and I would do the same. And if she was up, I'd kind of inspire her. Don't worry, it's just Monday. Tomorrow start again. Or the same with myself. If I had gone up, she'd encourage me, and we both reached our goal weight with long before we even imagined we would, just because of that extra push of knowing you were accountable on Monday morning.
So one of the things that I was doing at one point, because if you have a goal, if you set these goals for work, you have to have action steps of what you're going to do. And if you have to check in every morning with your accountability partner to let them know the 5 top things maybe that you were going to be working on the day before, whether or not you did it, it's kind of like a parent-child. You don't want to let them down. And
Right.
So you feel more encouraged and motivated to actually get something done.
Exactly.
And sometimes your accountability partner could be, like you said, because you're helping to motivate that other person. You might have your accountability partner help you to get motivated when you don't feel like doing something. So you got this big project or something you have to do, and you just can't. I don't know about you, but I've always found that I'll put things off and put things off and put things off. I can't get myself motivated to do it. But if push comes to shove, or like you said, I promised that I would do this, once I get into it, I'm totally fine. Like I'm a demon and I can continue and going on and on and on. Just to give you an example, I don't like housework. I always felt like I was a princess in another life because I don't like doing housework. But I know it has to be done. And I don't have anybody that I can pay here that I know to come and clean my place. But Andrea's sister has flown in recently, and I thought she might be here for the taping. And so before she came, I made sure I got everything done in my apartment because I wanted to make sure it was nice and clean and tidy, because it's always clean, it's just not always tidy. I always say I live like I live in a frat house because I'm comfortable. But anyway, she surprised me and her sister didn't show up, but I didn't know that, which was good because she seen me living like I live in a frat house. So, but I didn't feel like doing the apartment.
And now the apartment will stay clean because you don't know when I'm going to bring her over this week.
So the thing is, I was motivated at that point. I didn't feel like doing it, but I did it anyway. But the thing is, I felt so much better once it was done because I always like it done.
That's the thing. That's the big thing. Like, even I had some company recently and they just left, and yesterday I spent the day and we went out for breakfast, and then when I said, okay, I got to go back and change the sheets and do that, and yeah, I did not want to do it, but I got back from breakfast, and especially when you go out for a nice breakfast, you know, you come back, you just want to chill. But got started, got it all done by dinner time, and felt so good. Now I can really relax now and enjoy myself.
But don't you find that most of the time, the things that you didn't really feel like doing, that you ended up doing, you actually felt so much better? And that's even if somebody
Yes.
invites you to a party and you say, oh, I don't feel like going. And then you end up going and probably having the best time ever.
Yes.
Or meeting somebody new that you may not have met before that you actually connected with.
Well, that's funny you said that, because I had a friend who moved from Canada to the States, and in the beginning it was hard for this person to, you know, find friends or a partner to be with. And I said to that person, what you have to do is, and they were feeling, you know, down and depressed and didn't want to do much. I said, listen, no matter what, a co-worker, whatever, a stranger asks you to go, not a complete stranger, but you know what I mean, somebody you kind of know, asks you to go for a coffee, asks you to go to a party, asks you to go for a walk, just do it, because in that moment you might meet somebody that you would never have normally met if you hadn't gone for the coffee, hadn't gone for the walk, hadn't gone to the party. That's how you meet friends. When I first moved to Toronto, I didn't know anybody, you know, and I started going out with co-workers and different people, and from those people I met different people, and then now I have a whole network of friends that aren't just from my husband's side. And that's important, you know, but you have to get yourself up, get yourself dressed, and go.
And I like the fact that when you were saying about your friend, you just got to go out and do it. It's one of the reasons why the Nike sign, the check mark, is so famous.
Yes.
It's the perfect branding. But ladies, if you can think about this in your own life, just do it.
Just do it.
Because there's lots of things that we don't feel like doing. But
I had also heard, and I wanted to look it up, I can't remember, but somebody famous, I don't know if it was a military person or whatever, said, what you need to do is every morning before you do anything is make your bed. That's a feeling of accomplishment, and it sets the tone for the day. And ever since I heard that, that's exactly what because before that, I'd make it, I didn't make it, it didn't matter to me one way or the other. But ever since then, first thing I do is make the bed. I feel so good. I accomplished something, and I'm not going to crawl back in it because it's made.
yeah,
you know,
and it does look good when
and
your
it
bed
looks
is
good
made.
when you walk into your room. You see the bed made. You feel like you've done something.
Yeah.
Positive, something positive. My husband doesn't like the fact that I make the bed every day, but that's too bad.
So we can imagine what he would be living like if it wasn't for you.
I know, and I try to instill that with my daughters, but no. They still don't want to get up and make their bed, because they do, if they're not working, often crawl back into it, you know, either to watch a movie or do whatever. But maybe later on in life they'll change. Who knows?
So I was just taking a little look at our list, Andrea, of things that we had talked about, when you don't feel like it. But one of the things that maybe sometimes that you want to do, and it was kind of like what you started with when you were talking about trying to lose weight, and you had this connection with somebody. You're in Canada, they're in the U.S. It's the fact of that friendly competition of, say
Who's
you're both
going to make the goal first?
Right.
Even if you don't say it, you might think it.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting because I'm one of these strange people, but I am so competitive.
Really?
And I don't know if I've mentioned this, and I apologize, ladies, if I've mentioned this before, but I have competitions with people who have no idea they're in a competition with me. So, for example, if I'm in a swimming pool and people are like there doing their laps and stuff like that, and I'm in there, and they don't realize it, and just before we get to the end of the pool, I speed up so I can touch the end and say, I won. Even though it's only to me, they didn't know they were in a competition, but I just like competition. And sometimes it's really good if I don't feel like doing something. If I could do that with somebody, it just helps me to, want to be out there and doing, whether I win or not. But if I have any choice at all in the sense of my way of competing, I always win. And like I said, it's mostly, and the other people don't know they're losers, only because they didn't know they were in a competition, at least with me. So I would never be able to do this if
That's
it was...
one way to boost your ego.
Exactly, right? Sometimes that's what I just need. I need to know I'm good enough. But I think we all have those self-doubts sometimes, and that's why doing these things make us feel better, even if we don't feel like doing it.
Right.
So
you need to try different things, and
yeah,
it's like people who are afraid of flying or afraid of heights or different phobias like that. They say, just try, just somehow try. Get a partner that's not afraid to go with you, and then you might surprise yourself, or you get over it. My daughter was so fearful of flying. Well, I still have one that absolutely refuses, but the other one, and she wanted to go somewhere bad enough that she decided, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And she did it, and she said to my husband, even if I'm screaming and kicking, get me on that plane. But she did it, she got there, she had so much fun, and now she'll fly. Like, she's still fearful, but she does it because she wants to get to her destination. And I'm so proud of her for that, because I said, if you can't fly, you're basically in prison.
yeah. And actually, that's such a good analogy of just doing something when you don't feel like it, especially flying, because there's a lot of people that are afraid of flying, but they do it. Now, I used to love flying. I mean, I always enjoyed the takeoff and the landing and all that. That was fun. Until my husband at the time said we were hydroplaning, and that's where you're kind of skidding over water because it had been raining.
Right.
And I didn't know the difference. And in some cases, ignorance is bliss. And in this case, it would have been. And my husband goes, oh my God, that could have been very dangerous. And I'm like, thanks for that, because I didn't have a fear of flying up until that point.
Wow.
And my cousin, who had been with a pilot for many, many years, anyway, talking to him made it easier for me to fly, because as a pilot, he was explaining the different noises and things, because sometimes you hear this,
right,
and you feel like, oh my God, what's that? Well, it's just the wheels going up and stuff. The thing is, we have all these fears, but we can't let our fear stop us from doing stuff. So
right.
I do fly, because I fly all over the place. It's not that I'm as comfortable as I used to be, and I wish my husband hadn't done that, because I was happily living in ignorant bliss when it came to flying.
The danger or potential.
But if you go into a car, you potentially can be creamed by somebody else that's an idiot, erratic
they say
driver.
flying is the safest mode of travel. It's just that if there is a plane crash, there's a lot of people in the plane.
And the chances are you're not going to make it, right?
Yeah, but they say it's very safe to travel by plane. And there is a place in Toronto where they you can go if you have a
Simulators?
fear of flying, and they teach you things, and you do, like you say, go in the simulator. I can't get the other daughter to go, and I keep saying, maybe this will help you, but see, she just won't do it, and I wish she would, because
Yeah,
she
she
even
would.
missed her sister's wedding in Italy because she couldn't get on that plane. The whole family was there, and she couldn't. She could not do it. And so that's an example of letting your fear take over your life, or a part of your life.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was one of my favorite movies is A French Kiss with Meg Ryan, and Meg Ryan had a fear of flying, and her fiance at the time on the show was going to a conference in Paris, and she'd always wanted to go to Paris, but she had such a fear of flying that she wouldn't go. And she used the excuse that because she was in Canada, she couldn't leave because she was American, going to live in Canada, waiting for her paperwork. But the fact is, it was a good excuse because she couldn't leave Canada, but she didn't want to fly. And he could not convince her, and he was a doctor, so he could have given her a shot to calm her down so that she could do the flying. Anyway, bottom line was, he ends up going to Paris on the conference and meets this beautiful French lady,
Oh, boy.
and says he's not coming back to Canada. Well, she had taken a simulator course before he went on the trip to try to go. And she just like, no way, and had to refund her money because she didn't get over her fear of flying. Until he met this French lady.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden she was motivated. So even though she didn't want to do it, she did it anyway. She didn't feel like it was a good plan, but she was motivated to get her fiance back. And she got on the plane. And bottom line, she ended up having a better life for it. But
Right.
that's the thing, if you don't feel like doing something, whether you let fear or you're not motivated or whatever it is, and you just don't want to do it, you're limiting your life.
Exactly.
And between your two daughters, the one that got over her fear and the one that didn't, one is now at least having opportunities to experience more of life.
Right.
And the other one has got this little bubble that she has to stay in. And that is like a prison.
It is. I say it to her all the time. I don't care. I'm not the best flyer either, but I would never let that stop me from any opportunity to go
Take a trip.
somewhere. Take a trip like we did. We went to China together, and
Yeah.
it was. If you have that fear, you lose out on all that life can offer you.
Yeah. And so sometimes, and that's the same whether you're going to exercise, dieting, whatever, you don't feel like it, but you do it. And sometimes it is not just the motivation, I don't feel like it, but it could be that, what was I going to say with the, it's the fear, you don't feel like it, but it's the fear really
Yeah.
of, it could be the fear of rejection or the fear of whatever, fear of crashing, fear of dying, fear. We all have fears.
We all have it.
That's a normal part of living.
Right.
But you can't let the fear stop you
Right.
from doing something. So it's
Right.
one thing not to feel like doing something. It's another thing to let not wanting to do something and the fear get to you. Because in order to be successful at whatever it is that you want, ladies, you've just got to do it. And Nike was right. Just
do it.
So, until next week,
Subscribe,
like,
share,
and this is Andrea.
and this is Linda signing off for this week. Have a great week, ladies.
See you later.